Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of In Focus with Clough Photography. I'm your host, Clough, professional photographer, storyteller, and the guy who believes your wedding day is more than just an event. It's a living story unfolding in real time. Now, here's the thing. When most couples think about wedding photography, they think about the final gallery, the album, the prints, and the stunning portraits hanging on their wall. But what they don't always see is everything that happens behind the lens to get there. So today, I want to take you behind the curtain. We're going to talk about what really goes into photographing your wedding day, from the first consultation all the way to the last dance and the final goodbye. My goal is to give you a sense of not just what I do, but of why I do it. Because wedding photography isn't just clicking a shutter. It's preparation, adaptability, artistry, teamwork, and most importantly, trust. So let's dive in. Preparation before the big day. For me, wedding photography starts long before I show up at your venue with a camera bag. It begins in the planning stages, weeks or even months ahead. The first step is a consultation. I sit down with couples, sometimes over coffee, sometimes via Zoom, and I just listen. I want to hear about your vision for your wedding day. Is it intimate and romantic? Is it a big, bold celebration with hundreds of people dancing into the night? Do you imagine editorial-style portraits? Or do you lean toward candid, documentary-style images? This is where my wedding photography preferences and style questionnaire comes in. This document is more than a form. It's a roadmap. It gives you a chance to think about and articulate what matters most to you. Maybe you've always dreamed of a dramatic golden hour portrait. Or maybe you want me to pay special attention to your grandmother's reactions throughout the day. The questionnaire lets you tell me these things up front so that I can tailor my approach to your unique story. The truth is, no two weddings are alike. Even if the structure is similar, ceremony, dinner, dancing, the people, the energy, the relationships are entirely different. That questionnaire ensures that I'm not just showing up with a generic shot list, but with a plan that reflects who you are as a couple. Beyond the questionnaire, there's the technical preparation. I always scout the venue, either in person or virtually, to see how the light moves through the space. I think about where we can do first looks, how to handle group portraits, and where to go if the weather changes unexpectedly. And, of course, I prepare my gear. I'm not just grabbing a camera lens. I'm packing multiple camera bodies, a variety of lenses, lighting equipment, memory cards, batteries, and backups of all the above. Because when it comes to weddings, there are no do-overs. There's a certain peace of mind that comes from knowing I've prepared for every possibility. And I'll tell you, that preparation isn't just for me. It's for you. Because when you see me walk in calm, organized, and ready, it sets a tone for your whole day. Arriving early and reading the room. On the wedding day itself, I always arrive early. Not just on time, but early enough to settle in, get the lay of the land, and start documenting the story before most people realize I'm there. The first images of the day often aren't of people. They're of details. The dress hanging in the window, the shoes carefully placed by the chair, the rings nestled together in a little box. These shots may seem small, but they're part of the larger narrative. They anchor your story, showing not just the big moments, but the quiet ones too. Arriving early also gives me a chance to read the room. Every bridal suite has its own energy. Sometimes it's laughter and champagne. Other times it's nervous excitement. Maybe even a few tears. As a photographer, my job is to sense that energy and adapt to it. If the bride needs calm, I bring calm. If the groomsmen are cracking jokes, I lean into that vibe. It's also during this early time that I build a rapport with the wedding party and family. When people see me as a friendly, approachable presence, and not just a photographer, they relax. That relaxation translates into better photos because people are more themselves in front of the camera. By the time the ceremony begins, I'm not just a vendor in the room. I'm part of the fabric of the day. The art of adaptation. Now, here's the truth about weddings. No matter how perfectly you plan, something will change. It might be small, it might be big, but something will shift. And that's where adaptability comes in. I'll give you a personal example. I once photographed a wedding where right as we were moving into portraits, a sudden downpour hit. I'm talking buckets of rain, and I was soaked from head to toe, dripping wet. But guess what? The couple still needs photos, and the timeline didn't stop just because the weather didn't cooperate. So I adapted. I shifted lenses, found covered areas, adjusted my lighting, and we kept going. Some of the photos we got that day, with umbrellas, laughter, and rain splashing around, ended up being the couple's favorites. Adaptation can also mean handling lighting changes. Maybe the ceremony runs late, and what was supposed to be daylight portraits are now dusk shots. Or maybe the reception hall is darker than expected. That's where having the right gear and the knowledge to use it makes all the difference. But it's not just technical adaptation. It's also emotional. If a couple is stressed because something ran behind, I become a calming influence. If they're bubbling over with excitement, I capture that energy without slowing it down. The key is this. No matter what happens, you, as a couple, should feel like your day is unfolding naturally and beautifully. That's my job, to make sure the unpredictability doesn't interrupt the storytelling. Balancing posed and candid moments. One of the biggest questions couple asks me is, how much will we be posing and how much will be candid? And the answer is both. Pose portraits are important. They are the classic shots. The couple together, family groupings, bridal party lineups. Those are the images that often make it into frames and onto holiday cards. But my approach to posing is always gentle. I'll guide you through enough just to make you look and feel your best, but never so much that you feel stiff or unnatural. At the same time, some of the most powerful images of the day are candid. The look on the groom's face when he sees the bride walking down the aisle, the flower girl dancing barefoot on the floor, the tear rolling down a parent's cheek during a toast. These are moments you can't stage, and they're often the ones that couples treasure most. I'll give an example. At one wedding, we had the perfect lineup of portraits at the ceremony. Everyone looked fantastic. But one of the bride's favorite photos ended up being a candid I snapped in between shots. When her dad whispered something to her and she threw her head back in laughter. That single frame told more about their relationship than any pose photo could. The art of wedding photography is balancing the two. You need the structure of pose portraits, but you also need the freedom of candids. Together, they create a complete and authentic story. Teamwork behind the lens. Another piece of the puzzle that couples don't always realize is how much teamwork goes into wedding photography. If I'm working with a second shooter, we divide and conquer. Maybe I'm with the bride during getting ready photos, while my second shooter is with the groom. Or during the ceremony, I'll capture the wide shot of the couple, while my second shooter focuses on the parents' reactions. That teamwork creates depth. It provides multiple perspectives of the same moment, and that richness is something couples absolutely love when they view their gallery. It's not just teamwork with other photographers, though. It's collaboration with videographers, DJs, wedding planners, and venue staff. We all have the same goal: to make your day smooth and unforgettable. We communicate constantly, adjusting timelines, coordinating cues, and making sure we're not in each other's way. When couples hire a professional photographer, they're not just getting someone with a good camera, they're getting someone who knows how to be part of a larger team, ensuring that everything flows seamlessly. Wrapping up the night. As the night winds down, I'm still fully present. Whether it's the grand exit with sparklers, the last dance under the lights, or a quiet moment between the couple before they leave, I want to make sure the story is complete. But here's something that doesn't always get talked about. Ending the day isn't just about taking the last photo. It's about connection. I always make a point to find the couple and have one last conversation before I leave. I'll check in. How are you feeling? Was everything captured the way you hoped? It's not just about confirming the photography. It's about closing the loop on an emotional level. It gives the couples a chance to reflect, even briefly, on the joy of the day. And it gives me the chance to thank them for trusting me with such an important role. And then, of course, there's the technical wrap-up. As soon as I get home, files are backed up to multiple locations. I don't sleep until I know your memories are safe. That's the behind-the-scenes part that couples never see, but it's just as critical as clicking the shutter in the first place. Why this matters for couples. So, when you look at a wedding gallery, what you're seeing is the tip of the iceberg. Behind those images are hours of preparation, moments of quick thinking, seamless teamwork, and genuine care for the couple's story. Wedding photography isn't just about taking pictures. It's about trust. It's about adaptability. It's about capturing fleeting moments that become timeless memories. If you're a couple listening to this and you're planning your wedding, I hope this episode gives you insight into what really happens behind the day. More importantly, I hope it reassures you that when you choose the right photographer, someone who prepares, adapts, balances, and connects, you're not just hiring a service. You're inviting someone into your story. And that's a responsibility I never take lightly. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of In Focus with Clough Photography. If you'd like to learn more about my wedding photography services or schedule a consultation, visit my website at kencloughphotography.com. Until next time, I'm Ken Clough. And remember, every detail tells a story.